And yo, the Sports Bag Bros podcast is on right now. And it's over the weekend. We got a chance to watch a lot of NFL football. No one watches preseason. I guess this preseason may be a little different because all of a sudden, when you went to social media, that's all you saw. And even baseball rooms, you talked about football. And of course, the big name of all of that was Shedeur Sanders. I guess the Super Bowl happened instead of just a regular preseason game this past weekend. It's like before, if he'd have flopped, man, it's only preseason, but then he did well. Now he's the best thing, and he just screwed everybody over. We told him, yeah, screw you, this and that, all the other. What's good?
What's happening? I did not watch a single minute of football. I did see a little bit of highlights of the Bears game that ended in a tie, even though they had the ball at the 40-yard line. And they couldn't get 5 yards to kick a field goal, apparently, because the Dolphins had a Hail Mary attempt with 1 second left on the clock. So if that's an indication of what's going to happen, it's not looking good. I mean, I know it's the preseason. It was backups and all that, but still, 5 yards? You can't get 5 yards? Whatever.
It was late in the game, so none of the starters were there. Most of these guys are the UPS workers.
I know. I'm just saying 5 yards. Come on, man. A quick out, a comeback, something.
I tell you what, though, man, this is preseason, and I know football addicts get used to preseason. They look forward to it. With the draft next, they want to see how the draft picks are doing, and even some people who are interested in their own team, and if not a lot of people, they just want to see how things look in motion against other teams, and they've been hearing all the stories about their own teams. But this preseason just happened to be one of those preseasons where I guess a lot of weight, even if you're not a Cleveland Browns fan, you're looking forward to Shedeur Sanders. I wasn't necessarily looking forward to it as a preseason game because I know exactly what it is. It's a preseason game. But going by the people you saw on social media, and I keep going back to that, thousands of people making comments about him, ESPN making it a highlight. All of these other sports channels, whether it's on traditional television or on social media, on the internet, they're talking about Shedeur Sanders as if this is his second coming. And they don't give a damn about context. They just know that he's doing what they thought he would do. And it's still a freaking preseason game with defensive backs just playing 3 drop back, and that's it. 3-man zone.
Yeah, I can't really comment. I don't know how he looked. I mean, he could have been throwing dimes, and yeah, it's against backups and guys trying to make the team, try and make the roster and all of that. But if he shows good arm strength and he's making good decisions, getting rid of the ball on time, I mean, that's everything you want from a quarterback. And I don't care if they have 5 quarterbacks in Cleveland. He might be the most talented. Flacco in his prime, okay, he's probably not going to beat him out. But Flacco now, I think he's got a chance to beat him out.
Yeah, if you want to go with the veteran, we've seen it in the past when you had quarterbacks like with Seattle. You had Russell Wilson came in. I didn't think as a 3rd-round draft pick he would get an opportunity. He looked well in the preseason, but a lot of players do look well, especially these rookies. Well, the rookies that have a little something, they look better than you would expect a rookie to look during the preseason game, or even for the preseason period, season-wise, and then they get the nod. That doesn't happen often. You can look good a lot. And, like Trey Lance is looking very good passing the ball, but, it's not likely he's going to be starting when the season starts. But, even though he's been looking good and consistently doing the same thing, passing the ball, week after week, at least in the preseason, he had to early jump on it. But I'm thinking when it comes to Shedeur, and I think obviously misconceptions, people are going to believe what they want. People are going to draw their own narratives. People are going to be dick riders because that's what they are in sports. But when it comes to him in particular,
people going to be haters too.
And people are going to be haters. But remember this, though. The reason for him not going in the first round had nothing to do with his talent. It had everything to do with all of the BS you deal with on the outside, the circus that comes along with him, including his father. So that's a big point of contention. They're just completely forgetting about this. They keep calling it confidence when a lot of these damn owners and maybe even teammates think it's arrogance. They don't want to be a part of this freaking circus. But you get these ignorant people out there who call it confidence. There's a difference between confidence and arrogance. And you could probably get by with both, if you had him. And I think he has talent. I was saying by the end of the season, that end of college football season, that he could be a good second rounder, late first rounder. I thought second rounder would have been straight for him. He falls to the fifth round because of his attitude, because of all of those things leading up into the draft. Just it soured the front offices, and they talk about collusion. No, when does a team have a right, which is their right, to pick who the hell they want? They don't have to pick because the fans want. Now, sometimes, depending on the circumstances, it's in their best interest to do what the fans want. But in situations like this, which seemed like it could be really toxic, they didn't have any parts of it. And let's not also forget, he struggled a little bit in the beginning, got his feet under him, played well, got those dimes, but he did it against the Carolina Panthers, and we saw what they were all about last year. They're terrible. Now you're talking about a terrible team from last year with their backups in there, and he's dicing them up. So, take it for what you want. It's not taking anything away from him. It's the same analysis you give anybody in the preseason game. Cam Ward played okay, and they made it seem like it was bigger than what it was. Jackson Dart actually played better than what Shedeur did, even with one touchdown, with only 2 series, but they don't talk about him. So, but it's still, even if he would have done well, it's still preseason.
Well, I think in this day and age, you got to be careful with what you're watching on these sports shows. It's all hyperbolic. They're all fighting for eyeballs. The sports fans have such a short attention span nowadays. If you don't grab them with the headline or with the highlight or with hyperbole, you're not going to get them. So I think that's what's going on these sports shows.
But I'm thinking with Shedeur being the lead guy from the very beginning, that's what it's all about. It was like no one else played this past weekend. It was completely Shedeur. And I can understand the anticipation because of what did happen. And once again, it wasn't his talent. And then now, you move the narrative or change the narrative by saying, no, it wasn't only because he was picked so late. He was even getting the reps in practice. How the hell do you know? A lot of this is hidden from all the casuals or even the regular fans, other than what they can get off of social media or someone's secondhand story. They said he didn't get the reps. How the hell do you know?
Somebody
you assume he did it because
somebody always knows, and they're always leaking information.
Yeah, they're leaking it, but doesn't make it true. I mean, there's been a lot of things leaked that weren't true. I remember Zach Judah.
It's not a leak. It's not a leak if it's not true. It's a fabrication.
It's a fabrication. Fabrication is a freaking lie. You added crap to it. I mean, look at freaking.
I'm talking about things that actually happen that people see that they leak. That's not fabrications.
Well, look at the stuff that was leaked about Floyd before the Pacquiao fight. Zach Judah knocked him down with a body shot, stopped him in the sparring session. That's not true.
Well, they said Errol Spence black in his eye too.
I heard that was true, but you know what? Even then,
well, see.
But you heard that from a number of sources, though. And then Floyd even said so afterwards. When Errol was young and not a threat, that boy has something, man. He gave you some good work. Floyd said that about a lot of people, but he really was on that Errol Spence bandwagon. But back to this, and it makes it seem like if you don't go on the bandwagon saying how great things were last Saturday with Shedeur, now you're the freaking hater. You can't be just an objective observer watching him play against one of the worst, if not the worst team in the NFL last season against their backups. Probably some of the worst players there too. But he's doing, as a rookie, doing what he's doing. And when there were other rookies who do well, Slough, he played well. He threw well. You looked at Jackson Dart, did well. Cam Ward did okay. Shedeur did what he did. I mean, you had a number of quarterbacks out there doing their thing. First-year quarterbacks. See, these second-year guys, they did what they did, whatever. They're supposed to do well in their second year. But again, I like the buzz that it's getting. But then looking at these comments is just annoying as hell when people make this seem like it was a Super Bowl instead of a regular freaking preseason game.
See, that's why I don't watch preseason games. That's why I don't pay attention to all the Bleacher Report notifications. I saw the notification come in, Shedeur looking good and this and that, but I didn't click on it. I didn't read it.
But it was everywhere.
And that's what I'm saying. I can't comment. I didn't see not one throw he made. I didn't watch any of his highlights. I just happened to watch. I saw the Bears tied 24-24. I'm like, man, how the hell did they tie 24-24? And I heard that Caleb Williams didn't play, but I was on my lunchtime. I said, well, let me just watch this. It was a 5-minute video, and I saw they had the ball with 40 seconds left. 20 some seconds on the clock, and they couldn't get 5 yards and attempt a field goal, and they ended in a tie. So, as a Bears fan, again, I mentioned it's backups, but still, you got to find a way to get 5 yards, man. If your offensive coordinator can't call a play where you get 5 yards, maybe even
A
3 or
bubble screen.
4, even 3 or 4, okay, screw it. We're going to try a 55-yarder instead of a 50 or 52. I mean, something. You don't give the Dolphins the ball back with a chance for a Hail Mary. I mean, I don't know.
They
I
did
don't
it
know
in Washington last year.
I didn't watch the game, so I can't say if it was poor clock management, if it was poor play calls by the OC. But whatever it is, you got the ball at the 40. You're supposed to win that game. I don't care. Backups be damned. You're supposed to win that game.
And that's true.
Or at least your kicker has a chance to win it. If missed the field goal, okay, the kicker blew it. But I don't think he even got – because they would have shown it if he kicked it. I don't think they got an attempt at a field goal. They just gave the ball back on downs.
Because coaches do want to win preseason games, even though their primary objective is to
they were
evaluate
hyped up.
talent.
Austin Booker caused a sack fumble, and everybody's high-fiving on the sideline like he just saved the game. I mean, they wanted to win. So
Exactly.
I'm sure they were disappointed in the tie.
It's like the All-Star basketball games years ago in the last 5 or 6 minutes of a game when they really tried to win the game. They want to do that in a game because not only do you want to evaluate the talent, and I think that's primary in a preseason game, but you want to get the win so you can try to build a culture, or you want to have a consistent culture going on, and you hope it carries on into the season, even though a lot of those guys won't be with that same team. I even look at the Jets beating Green Bay. Years ago as a kid, like when you was waiting for Walter Payton to play, he didn't play the way you wanted to play because he only got like a couple of runs or a run. The same thing with the Jets, man. Back in the day, I'm thinking this is real football. Even though I knew it wasn't, you just hoping that they just kind of did something for a change and kept some starters in there. They beat Green Bay, beat them easily 30-10, but it's still a preseason game. They made Jordan Love look pathetic. He was 1 of 5 in the game, so they made him look really bad. Justin Fields looked okay, even though the past couple of practices, because I keep up with a lot of the Jets off the air deal, and he wasn't looking good for like 2 consecutive practices. He was looking horrible. They was like, damn, we better be a run-heavy team. They're expected to be a run-heavy team anyway. But then he plays fairly well this past weekend. He gets a 13-yard rush for a touchdown as well. But you know what? My man showed up. Adrian freaking Martinez showed up, man. Yo, come on now, man. I know Tyrod Taylor, we know what it is. This is going to be our third quarterback. I freaking love Brady Cook, who came from Missouri, undrafted rookie. He's going to be in the practice squad. Adrian Martinez, I think this is the year. If there's injuries to go around, Tyrod Taylor is long in the tooth, probably brittle in the bones, may get injured. Adrian Martinez may get his opportunity here because I know for a fact, unless Justin Fields takes a huge stride, he's probably not going to do anything big. He'll be consistently handing the ball off and getting you a few here and there and frustrating the hell out of you, but he may also get hurt because of the style of play he has. Adrian Martinez showed that he could sling. It's preseason, but you know what? He's doing exactly what he should do his second year on the Jets team, slinging it around like that. 11 for 15, 152 yards. Bro, in a touchdown? I mean, come on, man. The dude has command of the new offense that he's in. I mean, preseason.
Wait. You can't in one breath say chill on Shedeur Sanders.
No, I'm saying chill here. Martinez. But I also said
you're saying 2 different things.
No, because in the second
same situation.
Oh no, I said for what
quarterbacks playing against backups.
No, what I liked against what
Adrian Martinez is my guy. You know that.
I know that. Nebraska dude. You know what I'm saying? Even though he didn't go to Kansas State, but what I'm saying in his second year, that's why I specified in his second year, it's nice to see that he's actually doing better than he did in his last season when he was in pre-camp. He didn't get a lot of opportunities either, but it's nice to see that he's actually doing it. Seems like he has a command of an offense, a new offense coming in. And, Aaron Glenn being the head coach, and he's a defensive guy, but he's one of those few defensive few coaches who's actually just going to oversee the offense and defense and let the defense and offensive coordinator do what they were brought in to do. He's not going to come in and be the guy like Bill Belichick ran the defense as well, and he was the head coach. He's just going to delegate and let those guys do what he hired them to do. But I'm saying that Adrian Martinez is looking so
I want to know, why can't we say the same thing about Shedeur? Why
because he's in his first year.
He had a handle on the offense.
And does he
I
have
mean,
a
I
hand on the
can't
offense?
comment because I didn't see, but I'm saying if everyone's saying he looked good, why can't we make that
And
same argument
and
for
I
him?
specifically said playing against Carolina also is not a good look. Carolina is one of the worst teams, and you're playing against their backups. If you're playing against the backups of the Kansas City Chiefs or the Philadelphia Eagles, they're probably still pretty damn good, even in preseason. When you're playing against the backups of the Carolina Panthers, which was like almost a college team last season, I mean, that's another story. And once again, it's not taking anything from Shedeur. It's just that the way they blew it up. No one's blowing
Uh,
up what Adrian Martinez is doing,
well,
but
that's
me saying,
okay.
I like what he's
I'm
doing.
with you there.
No one's blowing up what Adrian Martinez is doing. I'm just pointing it out that, this dude, out of the guys that we have, 4 quarterbacks in camp, with Brady Cook being the undrafted rookie, and I love the dude for what he did last year. My man went to the hospital, came back, and won the freaking game for Missouri. Bro, you don't get better than that as a tough guy. And I've seen a lot of the other things he's done. He'll be one of those savvy quarterbacks, never a star, maybe one of those Doug Flutie kind of guys. But anyways, but Adrian Martinez is definitely somebody to keep an eye on. I think he's legitimately going to be the third string quarterback with a real opportunity at a second string and certainly a chance to at least play at some point, going by the injury histories of some of these players.
Well, if the Jets fancy themselves as playoff contenders, I think he'll get a shot eventually because unless Justin Fields breaks his bad habits, I don't think he's going to put a lot of points up on the board for you.
Man,
So,
going by what I've been
and
hearing,
if he's running more than he's passing, he's going to end up going down at some point.
going by what I've heard from him in camp, it hasn't been good. Even before the hurt toe, they were talking about things that he had done and how do you hold the ball too long when they have shorts on? I mean, how do you hold the ball too long then? Then he's still running instead of just, staring at the defense as if he knows what he's doing, but then he's still going to run the ball. He got his 13-yard touchdown, and that's a good deal. But the Jets are going to be a lot like they were when Rex Ryan was there. Heavy on the defense, even 2 years ago when they had that excellent defense, they just couldn't hold up last year because the offense didn't give them too many opportunities either. I thought Zach Wilson was the big issue, and he was, but it seems like offense overall. But the Jets seem to have a solid running game, even though Breece Hall is not the guy this year. Brian Allen is going to be it. Seem like he's going to be the guy, and Breece Hall is actually going into this season with a contract that he supposedly could sit out for, but he didn't. He wants to show that he could play. The new coach showed the new coaching staff that he can play. He said, I know I'm not their guy. Hell, hardly anybody who wasn't drafted is their guy. But anyways, the Jets looking good against Green Bay doesn't mean anything. I know it gives a good taste for a lot of these Jets fans, but we've also seen how the Detroit Lions went 4-0, and then the same season went 0-16. So we've seen that picture before, how the preseason means exactly that much.
Well, the year the Lions lost every game, they were undefeated in the preseason. So, of course, preseason means nothing.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
you said something that reminded me about some tough years for the Bears, man. When they had Urlacher and Briggs and, they had a really strong defense. And you mentioned that the Jets couldn't sustain it. Man, there were so many games during those years. They'd be losing maybe 13-10, 17-13.
Yep.
And
Just a
then
little
like
offense.
just get one more stop and maybe we'll win it at the end. And then the offense drives 72 yards and puts the game away. Like, oh man, he played great defense all game and then you can't hold him at the end. That's your initial reaction. Then you see the other team ran 45 more plays on offense than the Bears did. And that's 45 more plays the defense had to play. And hey, the toughest guys get tired, man.
And that's true. It's a game of attrition. We know that already. The Jets did it 2 years ago when they had that stout defense, but the offense just kept turning the ball over or 3 and out, not giving them a chance to rest. And they were still fighting like dogs. Last season, not so much defensively, then you had the injuries. This year, it's supposed to be a lot more of that defense with Aaron Glenn being the defensive coordinator, being the head coach with a defensive background, former defensive coordinator for the Detroit Lions and the success they had. But we'll see what happens this upcoming season. And of course, we would be completely remiss. I know you don't watch the game, but you probably heard this stat. The freaking Cam Little from the Jaguars hit a 70-yard field goal. Bro, that was on some seriousness,
I did
man.
hear that.
He did.
Where was the game? Was
Here
it
in Jacksonville.
Wow.
Here in this thick, humid, harsh weather. I mean, it's not that hard. It's hot. It's humid. It's a lot thicker air than you would have. If he went to Mile High, he's kicking a 75-yarder at least. because this ball he kicked, the ball boy was still back there catching the ball. So there was like 2 or 3 more yards to spare. My man hit 60-yard chip shots, man.
What's his name? That dude got a leg. Cam Little.
Oh, look, bro, when he lined up for it, I know his leg last year his long was 59. When he lined up for it, I was like, they just do it because it was right by halftime. I was like, man, they're just doing it, doing it for the hell of it. He's not going to make it. He kicked the ball, man. I saw that it was looked perfect. Like it was right up. I was like, damn, all it needs is the distance. And it moved a little bit to the left. And then the ball boy back there catches it. I'm like, bro, and the freaking crowd went crazy. The freaking team went crazy going into the locker room. They lost the preseason game, but it doesn't count as a record.
So why do you think it is so many more kickers nowadays have cannon legs like that?
Technology, could it be the ball?
Last year,
ball? I don't know.
I think last year was the most 50-yard field goals in history, I heard.
Man, 50 yards is, you're talking chip shots these days. Dudes, extra points about 50 yards, man. They're like, whatever, push it back. I don't know what it is. Is it a juice ball? Like baseball had a juice ball, the juice ball era when everything was going out of the park. I felt it in NFL football before, and they're like freaking rocks. They're really hard. So I'm like, yo, bro, you break your toe while you kicking it. But these guys know exactly how they're kicking that ball. A lot of them are former soccer players at some point. But man, I didn't even think about being in the stadium and hearing the sound of that freaking kick, because I'm sure kicks like that have a certain sound to it, man.
They had to be a thud. Yeah, they had to be a thud.
Yep, because when he hit it, it seemed like the punter, the holder, knew immediately that the thing was going through. He was kind of looking, then he started like, yeah, he celebrated last when everybody else was jumping up and down. And I was like, holy crap, but that was something. How often does a kicker outside of winning a game with a kick that really is significant gets that kind of attention? A 70-yarder easily. And we've looked at those things years ago. I remember when Martin Gramatica was hitting those 67-yarders, but that was at Kansas State. And I think they were still using the pancake back then. But and he gets to the NFL, was pretty damn good too. His brother Bill as well. But yeah, that's something else, man. And they was talking, of course, Justin Tuck is the freaking legend of all of them when you talk about recent kickers. And that's who they were bringing up, Justin Tucker. He kind of took the reins from Justin Tucker, at least on the football field so far.
Not really. Tucker's 65 or 66-yarder was a game winner.
Yeah, it was exactly with the pressure on.
Right.
See, a lot.
It's not comparable in my opinion. It's impressive as fuck.
The distance is impressive. Yeah. And you go to games, and before the games, the dudes are out there kicking the balls. Even in our college games we go to, they're sitting out there pre-game, kicking the ball, no pressure. And they're hitting 50 or 60 yarders with no problem. They're just pushing it back. Then they pushing it back. Then they pushing it back. And they still making them. And, it's a completely different thing when now you got to do it in such a period of time. Even in the preseason game, they're still coming after you. Dudes are still trying to earn jobs to getting at your ass. But it's still not the pressure that's included when you're talking about a playoff game or a huge game, a bigger game than that, with something on the line. Matt Vinatieri in Super Bowls, it doesn't get better than that or bigger.
That's true. Vinatieri was clutch too.
That dude was clutch, for real. And I think he's going to the Hall of Fame eventually. But Justin Tucker, regardless of the nonsense off the field, he'll be in the Hall of Fame soon. I know they don't like doing it. The kickers, Jan Stinrud, I think, is the last one in there. I don't know if there's another kicker outside of him. But
hey, you know what? I just thought about it over the weekend. 2 safeties we should have mentioned when we were picking our defense.
Troy Polamalu.
Okay, 3. Sean Taylor and Steve Atwater.
See, the Sean Taylor deal, he died so young, and he did have a small window.
But he was such a monster game changer.
He was, man, against the pass and the run. And I got a chance to, to see him a long time with Gulliver Prep, even down in high school. When he was Gulliver Prep, even now, Gulliver Prep is still a damn good team, high school football wise. But that dude was a running back down there. He was a send down there. Then he comes to the Canes and became a legend there. Goes to the NFL, and I know people call him a head case. He has some kind of issues with his attitude and whatnot. The Postons used to represent him. I don't know if you remember the Poston brothers. They used to represent him, and so I kind of did a running, not with him, but with the Postons years ago. And one of their runners, a guy named Steve Brown, was telling me about him. Because his rookie year, I don't know if you remember that pie in the face little thing they did to him in the rookie camp. You know how they do that shit, the hazing crap.
Yeah.
And he had actually got an infection. It almost threatened his career. Come on. Yeah, from a doggone pie with shaving cream.
Yeah.
And he got hit. LeVar Arrington did it. And it really, he didn't like it. I mean, it really infected his eye. Man, I'm like, holy crap! Of all things, this joke just went out of hand. But yeah, but Sean Taylor, man, the sample size is so small, man. You can only imagine if he knew he was only going to get better. And I know he killed the kick, he killed the kick on the freaking and the Pro Bowl.
The Pro Bowl.
Yeah, but Sean Taylor's a big freaking damn Steve Atwater.
Yeah, what it was is it was a video talking about how people grew up loving football because of the violence, the big hits, the hard hitters like Atwater and Taylor and guys before them, and now they can't play like that.
And that's true. And I know they're doing it on the surface for the betterment of the players or the health of the players, so they say, even though they just add another game to the freaking season. You want to get rid of CTE or you want to lessen it, add another game of concussive impact. It doesn't make any damn sense. Right. We'll take away one of the preseason games. Of course, the preseason games when most of those players don't play anyway.
Right.
It doesn't make any sense. But yeah, I watched those old.
I know it's like politics. Like they think people are stupid.
Oh yeah, they do. They just do these things, say these things, and because you don't call them out on it, they're okay with it and keep going with it. But people all call them out. I mean, I'm glad there is social media to a degree. It's the best and worst of both worlds, and you get a chance to hear opinions that aren't just one opinion from like ESPN. Everybody's watching them, so if they got an opinion, you can't really call them out because they don't give you an opportunity to do it. You hear that opinion, and that's it. That's all. But now in social media, you get to hear everybody, even though you got a lot of clown shit going on, you get to hear what everyone has to say, and you can just take pieces apart from what you like and don't like and come up with some type of an analysis of your own or whatever. But the way the NFL is now is not even close. And that's why I don't think you can even compare these players, because I remember when someone tried to compare, Mack to Lawrence Taylor, Khalil Mack, to Bill Belichick. Bill was like, he shut it down. He said, he was talking about Lawrence Taylor here.
Right.
And that was at Mack's prime when he was really killing it.
And you know what I did see, though? CeeDee Lamb getting ran over by a referee.
I didn't see that, man. CeeDee Lamb got ran over by a referee. I didn't see that, bro.
You didn't hear about it either?
No, I didn't hear about it either.
Oh, man. You talk about social media. It's all over the place. And that's something I
the only thing I kept seeing was, they should do this, should do that.
Something was happening on the
Cowboys,
field.
You would expect CeeDee Lamb if he got run over, people to ridicule that.
There's something happening on the field, and he's like celebrating right by the sideline, and the referee's trying to follow the play. Bam, ran right into him, knocked him over and everything. And then get this, I heard the league's looking into it because they might fine him for being on the field and in the referee's way.
True. You're not supposed to be in the field if he ran into the referee, but he actually got embarrassed by it. So I guess that's his fine. You get him fined and you get embarrassed. You get the double whammy.
Come out of your pocket, man. That's a bad day.
It is. You gotta say it was a bad day.
But is it surprising that it was a Cowboy that did it?
That's what I'm saying. I'm not even surprised. The way that mess is going on, Micah Parsons claims he wants to leave, wants to trade, and that's what it is now. And Jerry's saying, no, we're not trading you regardless. Well, now what's going to happen? Now, all of a sudden, he has this injured back. He can't go to camp or he can't participate.
He's probably going to get franchise tagged for a couple of seasons.
Bro, that's like, I know franchise tag is still good money, but it's not the long-term security you want. It's that one season you would think, because the franchise tag is the top 5 salaries average is what you get. The transition tag, I believe, is the top 10. But the franchise tag, top 5, bro, you're going to bank because there are a lot of pass rushers out there that are getting banked. So you're going to get their average, but for one season. And then they can use it again next year and just frustrate the hell out of you. Or you could choose to hold out and not even sign your tender. And I doubt he's doing that. But, I understand the long-term security they want financially. But if you're going to get like $15, $20 million for that 1 year, if you're smart, you can make that $20 million last a life freaking time. You can make that long-term security, but we know what we're dealing with here.
Yeah, but that's still not that's not close to a 5-year deal with 45
$45 million, $100 million total. Yeah,
right.
It's not, and like $80 million guaranteed money. It's not. I understand that. Yeah, I mean, I'm saying it from a layman standpoint.
No, I get what you're saying. Like, and if he got injured and couldn't play again, okay. Yeah, you can figure out a way to to live out $15 million if you invest it properly
Yeah,
and all of that. But 45 plus or 60 million guaranteed is way more than
way
15.
more, absolutely. That's without a question, man. That's the point. You get what you can get, and of course, in the NFL, there aren't any guarantees outside that signing bonus. And and when you look at these NFL contracts, and you see the biggest holdouts are always based on that signing bonus. It's not even based on the overall year's most signing bonus, because ultimately they can just cut you and not owe you a damn thing. I remember when Steve McNair's Baltimore, and of course they weren't going to pay him. They backloaded the hell out of it, but gave him enough up front, and he did what he did. And when it was time for him to go because he wasn't showing, he used to show he was getting older, they cut him and didn't have to owe him any damn thing else other than the money that he already had. They didn't owe him that. They already gave it to him. That's just how the NFL is. No guaranteed contracts. But I can see that in other sports like baseball and basketball has those guaranteed contracts unless you probably got a bad background, so they kind of tie some things in there to morality in a little bit more than they would do otherwise. Like John Morant's new contract, his next contract may be like that. This first one, though, $200+ million, he's getting the whole damn thing as long as he behaves himself.
Right. Except for what he's paid back in fines.
Yeah, right. I mean, he's paying fines. Mark Cuban was paying fines when he was the owner for Dallas. He was paying fines just to act like, putting it towards the charity that these organizations put their money towards when they do have these issues. Let me see. Check it out. Some of these games that were played, and there's really nothing else. It's preseason. You just want to see the individuals out there, and I think we got enough buzz from the individuals that people really wanted to see, which were the rookies. Jaden Daniels isn't playing in the preseason. If he does, he's playing for a series. The Jaguars, had some of their starters, and then Travis Etienne not doing anything special. Tank Bigsby, once again, as soon as he gets the ball, you see the difference between he and Travis Etienne. And I know I've seen some post about Trevor Lawrence being a bust. Not quite yet. Number 1 pick overall, I don't think quite yet, because he did get to that game before the Super Bowl push a couple of years ago. And at least he showed he can do it, so I think he can possibly do it again. Travis Hunter didn't do anything special. Played a few snaps on offense, a few snaps on defense, made 2 catches for about 9 yards. They got a hold on him right when he was about to break one. So nothing really special there, as far as that goes, at least.
Yeah, I don't expect Hunter to play a lot in the preseason. He's going to play a lot during the game.
Yeah, they said they're going to unleash him. I think that's hyperbole, but they're going to unleash him. These NFL players, man, you try to unleash him, they're going to try their best to kind of like accidentally knock him around. Or another quarterback who didn't play that well with J.J. McCarthy, and I didn't expect him to play well either. And,
I did see a tweet saying Vikings are in trouble because they don't have a quarterback.
And they don't. And, I said it last year, man. And when he was at Michigan, I rocked like hell with him. I was like, he was going to be a big reason why they went to the freaking championship and win it. It was going to win it. But I don't think his style of play was that who the hell was thinking he was a first rounder, man? I mean, that's what I was thinking. If you picked him in the 3rd round, you could live with it and look at him and not put the pressure on him to have to come in. But now, in Minnesota, and they're coming over that knee injury, which is a big part of his game, running that ball. And he has a bad preseason. At the same time, he was obviously rusty. He didn't play last year at all, because of the knee. And now this is his first action now in 2 seasons.
Yeah, it is what it is.
Yeah, I'm not going to say I feel bad for him. This is the nature of the game. But, I just don't think he should have been a first pick overall. Michael Penix didn't get any burn that I believe in Atlanta. I don't think so. But anyways. Yeah,
moving on, man. Enough preseason talk.
Yeah, preseason. Well, the reason why the preseason, because of those individuals, is not even necessarily the teams. So moving on, well, you had a lot of freaking.
Yeah, we spent 34+ minutes on it.
Hell yeah, because it's the preseason. People want to hear that football. Boxing wise, you had 2 boxers in freaking Japan. I know people who kind of kept up with a little bit of boxing. 2 fighters in Japan on the same undercard died. What's going on here? Died in the freaking ring from boxing, man. Brain bleeds for both. What are the freaking odds? I was like, in a country like Japan, you would think that kind of thing would make people want to ban boxing. If they didn't have a new Asia champion, would they do that? But they have another champion too. What's his name? Nakagawa. I think he's a bantamweight that's moving up.
That's very unfortunate. It just makes you question, what was going on in that arena during those fights. Did they have proper medical people? Um, you know, were was the referee doing his job? Did they have doctors ringside? So obviously these guys were taking a lot of blows, and did they take too much punishment? I mean, obviously, I think the answer is yes because they died. So, where were the adults?
Man, you would think in Japan, where everything is held to a higher standard, everything is supposedly in place for when it happened, just like any other match. And you just wondered, I mean, what the hell went wrong? Where was the disconnect? I don't know, but on the same card, man, this has to be investigated. Now, it would be investigated, I'm sure, internally. I don't think there's a boxing arm out there that's going to, look at it like there's an international commission that's going to take a look at it. I think from afar, people are going to draw their own conclusions or try to get some context clues and figure things out. But damn, I saw that story. I was like, because I remember the first guy was in the coma, and I was like, man, hope he doesn't pass away, man. He knows it was tough. But then the second guy, and I was like, what's going on here? The same undercard, what's going on? The card of hell.
But so anyway. just moving on to a more positive story. Friend of the program, Mary McGee, she's back in training. She wants another shot at a world title. She's she had a baby maybe 9 months ago, maybe close to a year.
Yeah.
So she's working on losing all that maternity weight, getting back in shape, and she's gonna be calling out people very shortly.
Bro, I know she had a lot of respect for Claressa Shields, but she's gonna have to eventually call her out if you want to make that money. Because she's that type of woman that's that height. You know what I'm saying? She got that height and she got that weight. And look at her record, man. She has a lot of bodies on her records. So, that's the type of chick that if Claressa wants to do the right thing and help her friend out, dudes do that in boxing, get a dude to pay there. I heard Muhammad Ali did that with Zara Foley. With the old man, just you want to pay his dude, you want to give him something on the way out the door. Hook him up with a payday. And all this Claressa Shields and Layla Ali talk, which was bogus to begin with.
I heard Layla's back in the gym.
But Layla's now saying, the news came out yesterday, no, she's turning on the fight. And people say she's ducking. She's not ducking. She doesn't have to fight.
She's not active. How can she be ducking?
Unbelievable. People in boxing, the same BS all the time. They always find the wrong side to be on. Oh, she's ducking. The chick's been out for like 15 years. About 15 years.
That's nuts.
And they claim she's ducking because there's a lot of money that can be made. And I know there's a lot of money. This will be the fight that would give Claressa that hell of a bag she's been looking for, just because of the name. But you know what? With all truth be told, when Layla Ali was boxing, I thought she was good, maybe even very good, if not pretty good. I didn't think she was great. Claressa, she talks a lot. She only has 2 KOs, but she's going to outbox anybody out there, any woman. She can outbox them, and she's not going to knock out Layla. Even old Layla, she probably can't knock out because Layla's tough. That Jackie Frazier live fight lets you know how tough she was. But, I thought Ann Wolfe would beat her. I always thought Ann Wolfe would have beaten Layla Ali. That's why she never got with her. You got Christy Martin on your record, but she had to come up like 3 weight classes to do it. And she was old by the time, too. But Claressa Shields, young Ali, older Ali, I think she would have beaten her either way. That's the big bag fight. Now, speaking of fighters just doing it for money, I see some other nonsense out there. I don't know if it's just typical boxing BS, but the deal is this. Eddie Hearn says the next fight for Anthony Joshua will be Jake Paul in early 2026. And he's not even trying to act like this is going to be a great opportunity for someone to get ranked. He's straight up talking about, this is going to be a commercial success. That's all he's looking at. And that's all you can look at under these circumstances.
Is it going to be in Europe or the States, though?
Man, if you want that, I think that Jake Paul, man, he's going to bring a crowd of his own any damn way. But in Europe, bro, you can't beat Wembley the way those boys show up.
That's why I'm asking.
But Jake Paul coming in here against Joshua, put that damn thing down in the Cowboy Stadium. I better be filled in too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's true. I don't know. I wouldn't watch it.
It's for the wrong reason. You know what? I'll be a sucker and a half and watch it. I let Tony talk me into watching Paul Mike Tyson after I said I wasn't
all
watching
them
it.
stupid ass AJ fans would be talking all kind of shit. Oh, AJ's back after he
Bro,
just
stop,
like when he
man.
beat it in Ngannou. Come on,
Got it,
man.
right?
You know, we had trolls commenting on our videos and this and that. Where are those trolls at now?
Oh, yeah, and that's crazy how they even think that. But God, you know what? And the most embarrassing, I know AJ should win it if they ever did fight, because you really have to entertain that thought now that it's out there and it's not.
It would be embarrassing, in my opinion, if he didn't knock him out.
Exactly, not just win the fight. If he wins a decision against Jake Paul, man, boxing takes another black freaking eye, just for that. And but
Man,
and if he
there'd
with
be
his
coming
chin,
out with clips saying, "Look, he could have knocked him out here, but he held back."
like they used with Mike Tyson,
Right.
Mike should have hit him, man. Come on, this is what happens when you get a nearly 60-year-old fighter in there with any young guy. You're still showing pictures of him fight Michael Jack Johnson when he was 19, trying to make it seem that this is the 57-year-old Mike now. But Jake Paul, I'll tell you, Matt, he has some pop. It's not like his pop is incredible, but going by what AJ's been hit with in the past, man, I don't think you have to have incredible pop. You just got to look at his chin long enough, and he'll get dizzy. You touch that chin, man, he's gonna boogie, man. Now,
Maybe, but I mean, if Paul couldn't knock out guys like Nate Diaz, not a real heavyweight fighter. Who did he just fight? I can't.
Oh, Chavez Jr.
Oh yeah, another non-heavyweight he couldn't knock out.
But Chavez Jr. has been known for that chin. I mean,
Paul's a heavyweight. He's 220 something, right?
Who? Jake?
Paul.
Oh, wait, he fights. I thought he fights at like 200, like cruiserweight.
Oh, I don't know. Well,
but he'll come up for that fight. He'll
understand that, but I mean, there's no way if Anthony Johnson gets knocked out by Paul.
If it's even competitive, man.
I can't even come up how to describe it. How ridiculous it even sounds.
But you know what? One thing about Anthony Joshua, even though the chin is the problem, that dude does honestly try to do the changes or make the changes he needs to become a better fighter. He seems like he really puts in the work to prepare for fights. Not just going by his body. You can see him really working on what he's been told in the gym in the fights, like against Andy Ruiz in the second fight.
That's the same thing you said after he fought Ngannou, man.
Well, I mean, he did what he's supposed to do against Ngannou.
Don't be fooled. AJ was not that good. He's not.
No, I'm not. I'm not saying that he's good. I think he's. In the beginning, I thought he was the Superman.
He's too far along to be working on things. He's got Apollo Creed in his corner teaching him how to box like Apollo taught Rocky. Come on, man.
Turn that slug into a boxer.
He's too far along in his career. He's not. He's no longer developing.
But he still goes into the ring with that intention, though. He intends to fight the way he's been told. If someone's going to make changes, says he needs to make changes. They have the training camp with him. When he goes into the fight, you can see him trying to make those changes. Even when he gets hit hard, he still tries to keep that jab out there because they told him he should do it. And a lot of fighters don't do that because as soon as they get tagged, they go back to who they were. Now, it wasn't like he was just a brawler anyway. He always fancied himself as a boxer puncher. I just thought when he first came on the scene that he just fit the bill. He had the build of an Adonis. I thought this guy's going to be the champ. If he fought Wilder, he just blow him out. That wasn't going to happen because, you look at the chin problem.
And that's a fight that should have happened.
Yeah, exactly. And that's ironic because there was a round robin of fighters who should have fought at that heavyweight class between Deontay Wilder, between Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua. And then Usyk comes up from cruiserweight, fights every damn body, but Wilder, and fights more than once. It whoops their asses too.
I think the only reason he hasn't fought Wilder is Wilder doesn't deserve a shot.
No, he doesn't deserve it now because I think he did consider it at one point, but Wilder is so far gone, and he's thinking that this last fight he had that is telling people that he's back. And now, and it's like when he gets these wins, he starts telling you about the shoulder problems that he had or the surgeries that he had. Bivol just had back surgery. In fact, he's looking for an exemption, to not have to have his mandatory right now because of that back issue. Crazy that he said it's been bothering him for over 10 years, a back problem, and he's been fighting the way he's been fighting. But yeah, hopefully it helps him out. But the better be but Anthony Joshua, I just think him fighting Usyk and Fury fighting Usyk, regardless of all the nonsense coming out of Fury's mouth to amp the fight, Usyk just easily beat, not easily, but easily the second time against Fury. I think easy both times against AJ, but AJ fought a little better the second time. I know that first fight, he did. By the time the last round came, it's like he was looking for the clock. When you fighters start looking for the clock because they want to get the hell up out of there, damn, man, you're fatigued. And we know Anthony Joshua's fatigue factor because of those big, bulky muscles. You need a lot of oxygen to keep those things working at an optimum level.
That's true. I mean, usually bodybuilder type dudes don't last long.
Nah, look at the past and the bodybuilding kind of guys. Mike Weaver was a guy who fatigued out. He had a lot of heart. That's what kept him in 2 fights. Then you look at even a fringe guy like Jimmy Thunder had that big body, but he couldn't go more than once you get past the 4th, 5th round, man. That was it. You just take him out of there. I think Chris Burby got out of him. Who?
Frank Bruno.
Frank Bruno, another one. I mean, he was ripped. That dude had like a 0.5% body fat. It looked like he was wearing a freaking black plastic bag. He was so ripped up. But yeah, and people say that he wasn't a good fighter. He probably wasn't a great fighter. He was good enough, even for back then. I mean, you look at the kind of guys that were out there. But yeah, these big, bulky guys, AJ just looked apart, man. And then he just obviously wasn't it. But anyways, what's his deal now? I guess since we're on boxing, for the past couple of months now, it seems 2 months, I guess it's a couple. Floyd Mayweather and Roy Jones going at it. It seemed like they're kind of making this thing trying to sound organic. It could have been planned. I doubt it because Roy don't play like that. But they're looking to make this pay-per-view fight eventually. That's what I'm not saying that it's going to happen, but it looks like they're looking to make a pay-per-view fight so everybody get the bag because they're making some buzz. And I'm like, oh, God, come on now. Old guys again.
So, Floyd's kind of like LeBron, where unless you bow down and call him, anoint him the greatest, he's got a problem. So when Roy was on the Andre Ward podcast, he was saying, Sugar Ray would beat him, Sugar Ray Leonard.
I think so too.
And I agree with that also. And then he was saying, if you look at his record, when did he fight somebody in their prime on his level? He made Pacquiao wait. He fought Canelo when he was young.
And people trying to act like he wasn't. Look at me fight. Yeah, he was young.
Mosley was older. De La Hoya was older. He's like, who was in their prime when that was on his level? He's like, if I waited 4 years to fight James Toney, would anybody give me credit for beating James Toney? And that's all he was saying. Of course, Floyd don't want to hear it. He's TBE. You can't question his record.
Yeah, and then
he's beat the most world champions in history.
Yeah, because we got to figure like 20 more champs per class.
That's because there's 5 champions in every division now.
Exactly, man. That kills me, man. Mean, they don't even try to talk about context. They just say stuff.
So yes, it's a true statement, but in context, does it make any sense? No. So Floyd clapped back, and Roy's like, okay, well, let's get in the ring then.
But when he clapped back, though, he showed on Roy's knockouts, man. Yeah. Bro, that was dirty, man. But you know what? All fair.
But it's not like Floyd could do it.
Oh, no, I doubt it. Floyd would embarrass him. Bro, I've watched Roy walk just last week, man. I'm watching the video. Dude's like limping around. Now, it could be all that road work for all these years. Your legs are shot, and he played basketball. I don't know, man. But I'm like, bro, this dude's not no shape to be in the boxing ring. Man,
he could be playing possum too, trying to make it look like Floyd.
He could.
Floyd could take him.
But
easily.
You know what? I also remember his last professional fight that he gave the people of Pensacola for all the support. The last professional fight that he had, and he almost lost that fight towards the end. I was like, yo, what the hell's going on? This dude's supposed to fall for you, man. This dude started getting stronger as the fight went on, man. He was making Roy a bit uncomfortable. And I was like, holy crap, man. I hope you don't figure ruin Roy's going away party, man. It makes him go away for sure. Yeah, so man, come on, Roy don't have anything to prove, man. You know, if they're both going to get their money, man. But what's going to really happen if those two did get together and Floyd beats him and then everybody says, I told you Floyd wasn't all that good. Floyd got exposed. They don't say nonsense like that. Boxing fans do.
What if Roy stretches him?
Roy stretches it, bro. You know how happy some people would be?
I know so many people would be celebrating.
Floyd's whole identity is based on that undefeated record, the entire thing. And if he loses that, I think
And
suicide next.
and yeah, he technically he's undefeated. He got a gift against Castillo, but he says he's 50-0. That Conor McGregor fight don't count.
They made it an official
You
fight.
fight a guy 0-0.
No fights, no boxing matches.
He had never had any boxing experience prior to that night, and you're gonna count that as on your record. Fuck out
Vegas
of
did that.
He's 49-0.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't care who did it. He's 49-0.
Vegas decided to sanction that crap, just like this Jake Paul Mike Tyson fight was made a legitimate fight. So now Mike has in box rec, I think, 7 losses. Craziness how they do it these days. They, boxing that has no problem. Excuse me, has no problem going against their own.
Used to be, people looked at Vegas as having, or Nevada as having, the most integrity in the sport.
Exactly. Not anymore. But when there's money involved, the cash cow involved, they'll bend the rules. It's like a lot of these boxing organizations, like the IBF, they'll bend their rules with their weigh-in. They'll throw that out of the way. The next day weigh-in deal, whatever. Because I know they did that to Silky when he fought Charlo. So and they did it. And he was letting me know that as it was going on. And I'm like, yeah, man, just them being up to them, doing their thing. Always doing what they do. But going back to the point of Floyd Mayweather having all these belts because there's so many different weight classes and so many belts. If you go back to just talk about Henry Armstrong at 126, he could have been 130, he could have been 135, he definitely could have been 140, he could have been 147, he would have won 154. And then against Serafin Garcia, it was a draw and they say he was robbed. So we're not even going to count that 160. To just give him 5 belts for every time he won of those damn weight classes, because theoretically he had all 3 of those belts in between, when he was champ. And he had all 3 of them simultaneously. So it's reasonable to believe that, hell, he'd have won 126, 130, 135, 147, 140, 147, 154. Just give that dude 5 belts apiece. He'll be doing the same thing as Floyd.
Well, that's the thing. For him to say he's beaten the most world champions in history, he's counting on the fact that most of his followers are not true boxing fans.
Oh, no.
Because true boxing fans know 35 years ago, there weren't 4 champions, 5 champions in every division.
I remember when the IBF started coming on the scene and they gave the belt to Larry Holmes to legitimize themselves. Probably. I remember it was just those 2 belts, the WBC and the WBA. And the WBA belt.
And then back in Armstrong days, there was 1 belt.
The NBA, that was it. The National Boxing Association, there was that 1 belt. And that's it. Yeah,
so
1 belt.
If Crawford beats Canelo and he becomes undisputed in his 3rd weight class, that's a great accomplishment. But you can't put that against Sugar Ray Robinson. You can't put that. No. There was no unification fights back then.
Nope. That was the unifier. He was the unifier. That's it. Yeah. It's like when you break it down boxing wise and you see how many fighters have belts these days, if you just took the top 4 belts and say this is what the real champion is, or this is what a championship is, and all of those 4 guys fight one another, and then you get your ultimate undisputed champion. That means years ago when Henry Armstrong was fighting, that guy who might have the top, you have your best guy out there who has the belt, he probably would beat the other 3. That means those other ones were just contenders. You have your 1 contender, 2 contender, 3 contender. That's it. Back then, the guys who do have 3 belts now, or have belts now, the lower 3 guys below the top guy, they would be nothing but contenders back then. Now they're actually champs. So that's why you can say you beat champs.
Right.
That's what I would have been. You'd have had your number 1 contender, 2 contender, 3 contender. But if they split the belts up, you'd have had your best fighter. Then you'd have still had the WBC, WBA, IBF, WBO, all that crap. And now the IBO, they're trying to make a legitimate belt.
And I don't remember Sugar Ray Robinson's exact record at welterweight. I think it was like 149-1 or something, 171-1 or whatever it was.
He had to fight freaking Jake LaMotta because he couldn't fight anybody.
Whatever it was, to me, that's more impressive, fighting 2 times a month, 3 times a month, fighting on all comers, giving them rematches, losing once, instead of picking and choosing who you're going to fight, only fighting 2 times a year. 2 times
a freaking year.
Retire for 1 full year so you don't have to give De La Hoya his rematch.
Or Paul Williams.
50-0. Give me Sugar Ray Robinson's career over Floyd's.
I don't even think that's a question, man. I like Floyd for what Floyd had done for now more modern boxing, guys getting their money. Guys know they have more power than they had in the past. They can make their own way. They can fire their promoters if they want. Kind of like, actually, he didn't fire Bob Arum. Bob Arum got rid of him. He bought himself out. Bob Arum didn't try to fight to keep him. He just bought himself out for what, $750,000. It was the best business move of all time. Whoever talked him into it and did a good job doing it, because I don't think Floyd did it on his own. But
probably Heyman.
Yeah, it probably was Heyman, and then well, Richard Schaefer wasn't with him back then. And I thought that De La Hoya's company would have been doing better now with Richard Schaefer, man. It still seems like his Golden Boy is still the standard in boxing. Bob Arum and Golden Boy. I mean, Hearn too from overseas. So it's not the same. And I don't know, man. Tank talking about he's fighting again. Whatever happened to that retirement, man? You wasn't going to retire. What else are you going to do? I know NASA needs another astronaut or another freaking scientist, and I know your name came up, but come on.
3-day retirement?
That's what I'm saying. I was like, what is this guy going to do? I mean, like, really, other than getting in more trouble, more domestic issues, or even worse, man, whatever. So, and that's what you get. Errol Spence needs to retire. This dude has a fought now in 2 years, going to be 3 years if he doesn't fight at all this year. And there's no way he's going to look the same. And anything that's looked at as a tune-up, I think they talked about him fighting Lara. Why would you want to fight him, of all people? He'll embarrass you at 154. Being off for 2 years? Lara's still sick, man, with it.
Yeah, you got to be ready. You got to cut off the ring. You got to...
He's softball.
You got to be ready to put in work against Lara. He's not
exactly, man.
He's not going to stand there and let you beat on him.
He's a pesky-ass fighter. He's a damn good fighter. I mean, that's another guy. You don't even think about it. For people, at least on the outside, don't think too much about him. That dude's been good for a long time. And at 154, I mean, shoot, I'm not saying he's unbeatable, man, but there aren't too many people beating him. He's just that damn good. You have a lot of, I don't know, man. We're going to do a live broadcast. We got it for that Floyd Mayweather-Canelo fight. I mean, come on. I know there's some people saying they're not going to watch it. Yeah, but I say Canelo who?
You said Floyd Mayweather.
Oh, no, damn. She got that clown on the brain. Yeah, Crawford and damn Canelo. And Charlos, I know hearing everybody's story. This is what happens before every big fight. Everybody, they get in touch with the freaking sparring partners. Everyone was make the sparring partners freaking stars for a couple of weeks. He sparred both guys. What do you think about it? That kind of thing. But then now Charlo's like, hey, it takes more than bulking up to fight with Canelo, which is true. So he's not lying there. Just because you made the weight, that's just a piece of the puzzle. You got to feel comfortable at that weight, and you still got to take that heavy shot from Canelo, man. That dude still punches hard. And at some point in that damn fight, you're going to get hit harder than you probably ever hit in a freaking boxing ring, just because he's just bigger than you like that. But it still has the frame of a 130-pounder. Now he has the mind of a dog, skills of a savant, and he's strong as hell, man. But we've seen a lot of strong guys freaking get knocked out in boxing or get hurt in boxing, man. And I'm still putting the $100 on him. I said it from this jump. I'm just going to put $100 on him, take the money line, whatever, and see what happens with it. He's probably not expected to win, so it should be some nice odds on it. Just put $100 out there and see what happens with it. That's it.
That's
get
a
some
good
easy
bet,
money
in my
or
opinion.
lose it.
I don't think any odds have come out yet, but I would think that's a good bet.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Just put it on Canelo now. Andre Ward said he's taking I'm not put on Canelo, put it on Crawford. Andre Ward said he's taking Crawford. But sometimes I don't, not him only, but Roy Jones and Andre Ward, bro, come on, man. These dudes are colorists. If the dude's black, I'm taking him. Seriously. But when the last time Bernard Hopkins took a white fighter, man? He like those guys when he was fighting.
At least Andre Ward, he had Terrence on his podcast and they got in the ring. So he's seen him up close.
Oh, yeah, that's true. That's true. But I'm going by his other analysis. I've listened to this guy for years now. I like his analysis. He's up there with the best. I still think Paulie's the best of all of them, but I think that Andre Ward is definitely up there. And I hear him commentate on these fights. Like, bro, you're a little bit biased there, man. And especially if he got his boy in it now. If he's going to do some type of broadcasting for the Canelo Crawford fight, we already know how biased that crap is going to be. He might start punching the damn air if the fight doesn't end the way he wants it to end. He's going to look like Trey from Boys in the Hood. I'm tired of this shit. Start swinging at the air. And that's what he's going to do. But yeah, that fight's coming up next month fast. And the way that all of these other months have been going, shoot, this thing is right around the corner. Any other big fights after that or what? I think there is a.
I can't think of any.
this has been a pretty lame year for boxing, but boxing's been pretty damn good the past couple of years with a few fights or a
I
handful of
would like
fights.
to see Shakur get a shot at somebody.
Somebody has to want to fight him. And
I
after
know
this last performance, I think Roach would fight him.
that's why I said get a shot and
Yeah.
not. I want to see him fight somebody
Mhm.
because somebody's got to be willing to fight him too.
That's the worst part of boxing, man. When dudes they always go on this camera telling you how they would fight anybody, any place, anytime, and it always doesn't happen. Like just recently, we've been talking, at least for me, I've been talking for a couple of years now about Boots fighting Virgil Ortiz. I think that would have been an excellent fight at 147. But you know what? Ortiz had his issues making weight. He moved up.
Can't make
Now,
47 now.
And now I'm saying, but back then at least, I was like, yeah, but now with his weight issues, he moved up and he's doing his thing. In fact, he destroyed my man. My man that gave Crawford some issues. Imagine yeah. And then Boots is moving up now. And now Hearn said that there was a fight between those two that's already handled for next year. He said, no one. His father steps in and says, no way. Give us some real negotiations. Don't try to do this behind our back nonsense. He got pissed off about it.
Hernandez?
Ortiz's father got pissed off about it. I'm like, wait a minute. Then Ortiz is like, nah, man, no. And it's like, well, we offered him 3 times. He turned it down. And so you want to do some negotiations? Give us a real offer. What is a real offer? Really, what the real offer is, man? You want $15 million? I mean, that's not bad, but
it sounds a little reminiscent of when Bud wanted the Spence fight. All Spence's fans were saying, oh, Bud's pricing himself out. Bud don't want to smoke. Bud this, Bud don't want that. And then all Bud did was he fought for what he felt he believed.
And he still took a lot less.
He deserved. And then he got in there and handled business.
That's it. And the deal, he gave up all of his advantages in that in the negotiation. I mean, he did everything. He did everything that Spence wanted. You know what I mean? He did everything he wanted. I mean, everything. He took a lot less money, the whole 9. He just wanted to fight, and he proved it. And now he got to prove to get it against Canelo.
Beat that ass.
Oh, damn, did he, man? So I guess I remember you brought up that case when he was like, hey, when he was talking about the $100,000, he's like, nah, how about $1 million? But a dude could come at you who has the $1 million and can tell you about $1 million. Damn, that dude's serious business, man. He's just,
hey, I'm telling you, when I saw that, like, he didn't even think about it. It just came out like, why fuck around? Let's go for it. You want to bet this much? Well, but how about we bet that much? And now let's see.
$1 million, bro.
Spence just kind of laughed it off, but
who got the laugh in this game?
Bud wasn't laughing.
Yo, Bud is that dude, man. He's a freaking dog. He's an absolute dog. This dude, he's respectful for the most part. I mean, compared to boxers today, and even a bit of a throwback. He's respectful to a lot of dudes, man. He doesn't try to. He's not a rah-rah dude.
I'll say this about Bud because that's a popular term you hear a lot nowadays. Oh, this guy's a dog. He's a dog. That guy's a dog. Bud is a wolf. He's a fucking alpha male wolf.
Yeah, that's the truth, man. That dude, bro, and when he gets a serious in his face, you can see when he's serious, man. When he gets to that point where he don't play anymore, man, he gets into that mode. He's like, damn, you probably struck a nerve or whatever, man. You about to get it, man. He's just that damn dude, and to see the things he does in his little Oklahoma, his little Nebraska City in Omaha, at the barbecue with everybody, man, get the whole block party going. Like, bro, man, you gotta love this dude, man. I'm telling Andre, yo, bro, we got to show up. We got to go to Omaha. I'm telling Andre, man, when we get the chance, we just freaking need to go to Omaha. The thing about it, we got to pinpoint when the hell he's going to be there. We don't just go out there and pass by the gym. Come on, man. But anyway.
You might have a better chance finding Bomac.
You know what? Bomac, if he's at the damn gym, he's worth talking to as well.
Right.
Forget about it. I mean, that dude's, I don't think he gets enough credit. They keep saying that Spence is the only guy he could do something with. Hell, was Floyd Jr. was the only thing Floyd Sr. could deal with, or Roger Mayweather could deal with. I mean, come on, man. Now what's his name that trained Andre Ward? I think that was his.
Virgil Hunter.
Virgil Hunter, bro. I think that dude was overrated as crap, and Amir Khan would probably attest to that. That dude just not.
Yeah, but you can't train the chin neither, man.
That's true too. But skill wise, he already had the skills. That chin is gonna be his chin. Well, I didn't see any difference though, because isn't he supposed to also know some defense? She didn't defend that chin. He went to sleep again. But anyway, damn, time just flowing by between football and just sliding on over the box. And man, next month, September, the NBA goes back into preseason. I know you don't care about NBA preseason. You don't care about anybody's preseason, but college football coming up as well. All these teams now
I saw the top 25 came out.
Yeah, Texas, no, come on, that was no brainer with Texas being number one. Arch Manning, as long as he's there, they're number one.
I saw IU, Indiana was in the top 20. I'm like, I don't know if they're going to back up. They had so many transfers last year.
Yeah, but
is he going to bring in another 40 transfers and do the same thing?
But they need to have the key positions, which took them to got them far last season. They got another quarterback at that key position.
And plus, they kind of snuck up on people.
Yeah,
they ain't sneaking up on nobody.
Fernando Mendoza, man, they got him from Cal. He's their quarterback now. And I was surprised. I thought maybe Miami had a chance because he did go to Mario Cristobal's alma mater, Columbus High School down in Miami. But his brother plays up there in Indiana, so that's always going to take precedence over. You know what? Mario Cristobal is cool, but I want to play with my brother up there. His brother, I think, is an old lineman. So he's up there playing quarterback up there. And Fernando Mendoza, I was on that bandwagon last year. I had my 3 Latino dudes last year between Diego Pavia. I had him. And I had my man Lopez, that's down, Gio Lopez, that played for South Alabama, now with freaking Bill Belichick in Carolina. Bro, I'm looking forward to watching those guys play this year, especially Pavia. He's one of those dudes that may or may not get drafted, but he's going to get his ass in camp and impress people. I've been saying that since the New Mexico State games. He did it last year when he just got me that money with Virginia Tech Vanderbilt. Bro, that's my dude. Then he beats up Alabama. Come on, man. That guy, he's a freaking legend. I don't care what they say about him. He came to Vanderbilt, became a legend in one season. They don't have a real football history. He made the history.
That's true. I mean, if it had been Alabama's only loss or 2 losses, but it would have had that much more impact. But they had 4 losses
total? Yeah, about 3 or 4 losses. Damn. But Vanderbilt's still Vanderbilt. They're not supposed to.
No, I'm just saying, like.
And in Tuscaloosa,
it's understandable. Man. It wasn't your typical Alabama team.
And now Alabama starts the season with Florida State, and now you have Castellanos transferring from Boston College down in Florida State now, talking nonsense. Bro, get comfortable with Florida State first before you talk this nonsense, man. Crazy. Everybody's just changing their teams and whatnot. He's there now, and I rocked with him last year. He made me some money, but bro, you go against Alabama first game of the season, coming off of a 2-win season. You might want to chill for a while and see what the hell you got there, and then you want to run out there and just you don't want to piss people off. But who cares? And I know Joel Klatt had Jeremiah Smith is the number 1 player in all of college football, and I think there's a hell of an argument to be made. Easily the Heisman Trophy favorite going into the season. That wide receiver coming out of Ohio State, true freshman last year, crazy. His other receiver from high school, they went to Chaminade Madonna. Is JoJo Trader with the Canes, and he's been showing up at camps and whatnot too, but the injury bug is kind of biting his ass as well. But anyways, well, that'll take it for right now. We'll be back on Thursday. Man, the way things have been going with the sports cycle, I think things are now percolating and picking up for this time of the season.
Right quick, though, what's up with the DILDOs being thrown on the court in the WNBA?
What's the deal with it? It's funny as hell. That's what the deal is. Give it hell. One dude just got arrested over it the other day.
Good.
Yeah.
That's a stupid thing to do.
It's funny because it's like those little prank deals. You know, it's just funny, man. And the girls are like, well, one of us might get hurt.
One of the girls got hit in the back with it the last time, though.
Oh, the last one? I know.
Yeah.
You know, about somebody, they need to stop throwing it because, you know, obviously somebody could get freaking hurt. Somebody can sprain their ankle on that thing for anything else.
Yeah,
you know,
they step on it and roll it.
I don't know where it came from, why they chose that. But whatever, man.
Why a green one?
I mean, why that period? Because that's not, you know, because you throw it out
I think if you give it a little thought, I think you can.
I mean, you know, why it gets on television. You know what I mean? So it's not like, you know, that's mine. That's what I threw. And they showing some green blur on the freaking floor. You know, whatever.
I'm saying, I think the majority of the women in the league.
Yeah, we know what they are about.
That's what I'm saying.
But,
so
yeah, in this league.
Anyway, deuces.
Yeah, deuces. Call it